My selected designers from the What Was Good Design 1944 to 1956 exhibition is Charles and Ray Eames. Ray Eames was born in Sacramento, California, 1912 to her father Alexander Burke Hazer and mother Edna. She also had a brother named Maurice. Ray lived most of her childhood years in an apartment with her parents before moving to a bungalow in another town. She learned about the quality of enjoyment as well as the value of enjoyment of nature from her parents, which later led to inventions of designs related to furniture and toys. Before and after her father's passing, Ray moved from city to city before attending Bennett Women's College, where she studied up until 1933. Charles Eames was born in St. Louis, Missouri, 1907, where he grew up with his older sister Adele and mother Celine Lambert, who was 30 years younger than his father Charles Ormond Eames. Charles was a bright and curious boy who had a gift for drawing. Charles taught himself how to develop photographs on glass plate negatives before he found out that film had been invented already. Charles's father passed away in 1922 when Charles was 15, due to gunshot wounds from an incident that occurred in 1922. Charles Eames was greatly influenced by the Finnish architect Ilo Saarinen, who designed the Helsinki Railroad Station in 1904, and was completed 10 years later. Charles developed an interest in engineering and architecture from when he attended school in his birthplace. He later found himself studying at Washington University in St. Louis, but was thrown out for having views that were too modern, and for his advocacy of Frank Lloyd Wright, who was an architect, interior designer, writer, and educator. He then began to work in an architectural office, starting his own in 1930. Upon receiving a fellowship to Cranbrook Academy of Art in Michigan, he later became head of the design department. Charles and Ray Eames were well known for building leg splints and stretchers for soldiers during World War II, as well as designing their own home, which is still a significant historical artifact to this day. It was built from prefabricated steel intended for industrial construction. Ray also designed a total of 26 cover designs for the journal Arts and Architecture from 1942 to 1948. Charles Eames passed away on the 25th of August, 1978, and Ray died 10 years later on the exact same day. They were buried next to each other at the Calvary Cemetery in St. Louis. Ray Eames graduated from Bennett Women's College in Millbrook, New York, but she later studied painting with Hans Hofmann before attending Cranbrook Academy in 1940, where she met Eero Saarinen and her future husband Charles Eames. The design skill and process between the two was strongly synergetic. They were the power couple of design. After marriage, the two moved to California to further their molded plywood designs, which later turned into plastic. For example, a well-known plywood design of theirs would be their coffee table design from 1946, which had molded plywood top and steel rod legs. And when comparing Dieter Rams's 10 principles of design against this particular design, we are able to establish that it conforms to at least 5 of them. For example, good design makes the product useful. This product is simple and fulfills its duty as a coffee table without any unnecessary additives. It can be used in a lounge or sitting area to hold magazines, drinks, picture frames, and so on. Therefore, it can be considered as useful. Good design makes a product understandable. It is understandable in the way that it could not be wrongly identified as something other than a coffee table. This also makes it honest, as it is not trying to mask or hide what it is. Good design is long-lasting. This product's simplistic design assures that it will always fit into society's ideas of modernism, as it can fit into any context and can be personalized to match someone's ideas and individual style. Good design is eco-friendly. With the majority of the design being made out of natural plywood, it can be observed that it is in fact eco-friendly and fits within this principle. After studying the designs of Charles and Ray Eames, along with the 10 principles of design created by Dieter Rams, I can see myself that I follow the 10 principles well, in the way that my pieces are often understandable as well as aesthetic and honest. I realize that I need to work on refining my pieces to make them simpler and have as little design as possible, which will be hard as I often think about adding as much detail as I can into all my designs.